Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues and graduating seniors, families and friends around the world on the live stream, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you to the 51st commencement ceremony of Franklin University, Switzerland. Today is a very special moment in the life of Franklin. It is first and foremost a day of celebration as we recognize the accomplishments of our senior class and of our graduate students. Because of the current health challenges, we will do this in 4 separate ceremonies. Yeah, 4 separate ceremonies. But we are one community here to celebrate you, to celebrate each other, and to celebrate Franklin. Each of you should be very proud of what you have accomplished. And we, as an institution, are very, very proud of you. These are challenging times, but I don't want to belabor an issue about which we are all too aware. Today is a day of celebration, and I urge us to look to the future. Things are getting better. Working together in a spirit of collaboration, we are returning to normality. We have remained open as a university. We have been there for you, our students, and we have been there for each other as well. Our community has remained resilient and safe. And if there's nothing else that we have learned in this past year, a year that has been one of the most challenging, certainly, in recent history, it is that we need each other and that we need to work together as a community in order to flourish. These are the times that test our values. And today, in celebrating you, our graduates, we are indeed celebrating those values as well. Civil discourse, transparency, sustainability, and most of all, social responsibility. Today's ceremonies are by necessity smaller events that physically separate us from each other and that separate us from our families and friends who are watching online. But this is no less real as a ceremony that celebrates your achievements and our belief in you. In our 51st year, we are honoring our past, but we are also looking to our future. We're constructing a new building that will serve as a modern new student residence, student center, offices of student life, home of the Taylor Institute, an expanded Tone Athletic Center, as well as new classrooms and conference spaces. We continue to innovate with new undergraduate programs, as well as 2 new master's programs. Our faculty are accomplished teachers, but also active researchers, and we hold fast to our values as an institution that connects the liberal arts to professional pathways. You, our graduates, have met the academic challenges of the institution, and we celebrate you. But this is also a moment to reflect that you have not done this alone. Your success has been supported by our faculty and staff, by our institution, and you have also succeeded because of the support of your families and friends. The families that we wish could be here with us today are only connected by technology, but we can still stand up and thank them with all of our applause. So please stand up, clap and cheer, and let's thank families and friends. We so wish that they could be with us. Each of you during your stay at Franklin has also been assisted, encouraged, advised, and sometimes, I think, cajoled by the faculty members here at Franklin who have been your biggest fans, watching you grow and eventually succeed. The faculty-student relationship is at the heart of Franklin University. So at this point, I would like to ask you, our graduates, and you don't need to stand again to do this, but please recognize with your applause the faculty members who have done so much to ensure your success. I am also very grateful to our staff. They work often behind the scenes to make things happen, like this graduation. Franklin would not work without them, and they deserve our thanks as well. And finally, of course, there are our trustees. Their support, their wisdom, their generosity allows us to surmount our challenges. They can't be with us in person today, but I know they're all watching, and I want to express our collective institutional gratitude to them as well. And therefore, it gives me great pleasure to introduce Franklin University's Chair of the Board of Trustees, Mr. Kim Hildebrandt.
Thank you, President Warden. Dear graduating class of 2021, dear parents, fellow trustees, distinguished faculty, administration, staff, and all live stream followers, a warm good afternoon to you all. Un caloroso buongiorno anche ai nostri illustri partecipanti della lingua italiana ed è con immenso piacere che vi do il più cordiale benvenuto alla nostra cerimonia di laurea. Today is an incredibly special day for you graduates, and I can assure you that the Board of Trustees, administration, faculty, and staff all wholeheartedly share with you the joy and excitement which this year's commencement ceremony brings with it. While the social distancing guidelines still prevent us from having our customary commencement ceremony, we are just so profoundly grateful and relieved that we this year at least can have an in-person ceremony, as opposed to last year due to the terrible global outbreak of the pandemic. Class of 2021, I commend you for reaching the great milestone of graduation, and new interesting life experiences now lie ahead of you. As you all now turn the page on what we hope was an important, rewarding, and memorable chapter of your lives, and enter into what we all expect and pray will soon be a post-pandemic world, we hope that you'll take with you all that you have learned whilst at Franklin, and treasure and hold it within your heart. You've worked hard, and your commitment to excellence has been exemplary. Now, however, the time has come for you to transform this academic knowledge into the tools necessary to identify your next pathway. You've been taught to be creative, imaginative, to think originally and unconventionally, and not to be afraid to push the boundaries, but most of all, to be respectful and open to other ideas, and to accept and embrace the different. It is my strong personal belief that the possession of those qualities and values can transform individuals into real citizens of the world, capable of adapting to any circumstance and challenge. Independent of which pathway you decide to embark on, I can assure you that all of us within the Franklin family, independent of our roles, will be so immensely proud of you, as will be also your parents, family members, and loved ones. Please join me on behalf of my fellow trustees in extending a warm applause of gratitude to President Greg Warden and Vice President and Dean of Academic Affairs, Sarah Steiner-Barella, and the entire remarkable faculty and staff of Franklin for their tireless and true dedication with which they transmit academic learning, as well as attentive and thoughtful consideration to all of you. I'm going to kindly ask you to join me in one more round of applause, this time dedicated specifically to Vice President and Dean Sarah Steiner-Barella, also affectionately known to many of you as Dean SSB, as she'll be leaving Franklin this summer after 16 years of true devotion to an institution and its students, to pursue a new and well-deserved professional challenge. Sarah, thank you for all that you have done, and please know that you'll be deeply missed. I'm going to conclude my message to you all, as I've always done at every commencement ceremony, by reminding you never to forget your Franklin family, as we will certainly not forget you. Congratulations, class of 2021.
Thank you, Mr. Hildebrandt, for those words of inspiration. This is our opportunity now to acknowledge the accomplishments of our faculty. First and foremost, I would like to acknowledge Professor Sarah Steiner-Barella, who is stepping down as Vice President and Dean of Academic Affairs to take up new challenges for Virginia Tech at the Steiger Center in Riva San Vitale. Dean SSB, as we all know her, came to Franklin in 2005. In the 16 years that she has been at Franklin, she has become a veritable institution. An accomplished scholar, she is also an exceptional, rigorous, and caring teacher. Despite the burdens of administration, she has remained connected to students and has made a lasting contribution to a generation of Franklin students as an advisor and as a mentor. She has worked tirelessly for Franklin in so many ways, most recently through the compelling and transparent weekly COVID updates, not only to students, but to all of us, the entire community, that have seen us through this difficult year. I have appreciated her counsel and her advice, and we will all miss her. The only good news is that she will be just down the road, so to speak. We will stay in touch. Professor Steinert-Barella, Sarah, thank you for all that you have done at Franklin. Two faculty members have retired or are retiring and deserve special acknowledgement. Professor Dudukovic has been recognized in her divisional ceremony. Here I would like to say a few words about Professor Zanekia, who joined Franklin College, as it was then, in 1998 in international management and political science. He quickly moved to the ranks of the administration, stepping in as dean of the college in 2000. Under Armando Zanekia's leadership, Franklin earned its first Swiss accreditation for the BA programs in 2005. Professor Zanekia returned to the faculty in 2009. Beloved in the classroom by IR and by IM students, Professor Zanekia is undoubtedly best known for his much sought-after academic travels to Malawi, South Africa, Botswana, and Namibia. His work with service learning, specifically with the Freedom Gardens project in Malawi, has been nothing short of inspiring, and he has shared these wonderful experiences with generations of Franklin students. During the pandemic, he focused on leading travel closer to home in Switzerland with equal success. We are delighted to bestow upon Professor Armando Zanekia the title of Professor Emeritus.
Several faculty members in the division today are receiving awards for exceptional work this year. As you all know, Franklin has always been an institution that prides itself on its teaching, on the close mentoring relationship between faculty and students, and on its focus on undergraduate and experiential learning. The recipients of the 2021 Excellence in Teaching Award excel in all of these areas. In a difficult year for faculty and students alike, these two professors have stood out for their dedication to the student experience and for their ability to make a challenging classroom situation remarkably rewarding to their students. Please join me in congratulating Professor Fintan Hoey and Professor Satomi Sugiyama. Please stand up. A second award for this year in the Excellence in Professional Engagement goes to a young faculty member who was unable to join us today, but who has taken the solitude of lockdown and put it to extraordinarily good work. With 6 peer-reviewed journal articles in major journals in the field of IR and East Asian Studies in 2020 and the first half of 2021, she sets the bar high for faculty and students alike. Please join me in congratulating Professor Juliet Schwach. Mr. President, I now have the pleasure of presenting to you the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Will the candidates please stand? On behalf of the faculty, I certify that these persons have completed the required course of study at Franklin University, Switzerland, or will do so by the end of the summer term 2021. and they are presented to you for conferring of these degrees at the appropriate time.
Thank you, Sarah. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, and on recommendation of the faculty, I confer upon you the degree to which you are entitled with all the rights and responsibilities pertaining thereto.
The following candidates will receive the degree of Bachelor of Arts. From Houston, Texas, USA, with a major in Communication and Media Studies, Noor Al-Julayli. From Bad Zwischenahn, Germany, with majors in history and international economics with an emphasis in political economy and graduating magna cum laude, Simon Bruns. And Simon has been selected as the outstanding student in economics and finance. From Cesara, Italy, with a major in international relations, Pietro Capra. From Fort Worth, Texas, USA, with a major in history and graduating cum laude, Catherine Cravens. From Bellevue, Washington, USA, with majors in comparative literary and cultural studies and history and graduating summa cum laude, James Fahey. James has been selected as the outstanding student in comparative literary and cultural studies and in French. Félicitations. From San Pedro Sula, Honduras, with a major in communication and media studies, Diana Gerber Wong. From Zurich, Switzerland, with a major in communication and media studies, Walter Greter. From Lucerne, Switzerland, with a major in communication and media studies and graduating cum laude, Julia Happel. From Plantsville, Connecticut, USA, with a major in history and graduating summa cum laude, Allison Calvitis. Allison has been selected as the outstanding student in history. From Kampala, Uganda, with a major in communication and media studies, Pearl Kazire. From Superior, Wisconsin, USA, with majors in Communication and Media Studies and Environmental Studies, and graduating cum laude, Naomi Lear. From Tehran, Iran, with a major in history and graduating magna cum laude, Hava Mansouri. From Alameda, California, USA, with a major in political science, Margaret Pendo. From Bergamo, Italy, with a major in international relations, Giovanni Pezzenti. From Guatemala City, Guatemala, with a major in international relations, Natalie Purswell. From Rome, Italy, and Lugano, Switzerland, with a major in Communication and Media Studies, Benedetto Santoboni. From Sauerlach, Germany, with a major in Communication and Media Studies, Natalie Siegfried. From San Francisco, California, USA, with a major in history and graduating magna cum laude, Mariah Simons. Mariah has been selected as the outstanding student in history. From New Delhi, India, with a combined major in art history and visual culture and political science, Saki Sopti. From Lugano, Switzerland, with a major in international relations, Michele Stopper. From Durango, Mexico, with a major in international relations and graduating magna cum laude, Frida Terrazas Carrillo. Frida has been selected as the outstanding student in French and international relations and political science. Frida is also the recipient of the Presidential Leadership Award, awarded to the student whose behavior exhibits strong extracurricular involvement in the life of the university and who demonstrates excellence in leadership. From Bloomfield, New Jersey, USA, with a major in Communication and Media Studies, Reese Williams. And please join me in recognizing your fellow graduates who could not be here today for this ceremony, but they're with us on the live stream and with us in spirit. From Royersford, Pennsylvania, USA, with a major in history and graduating magna cum laude, Andrea Briscoe. Andrea was also selected as the outstanding student in history. From Neuchâtel, Switzerland, with majors in Communication and Media Studies and International Relations, and graduating summa cum laude, Mariam Cissé. And Mariam was selected as the outstanding student in Communication and Media Studies and in International Relations and Political Science. She is also the recipient of the Academic Excellence Award, awarded each spring to the Franklin student who manifests strong intellectual curiosity, a love of learning, and potential for scholarly research. From Minami Gyotoku, Ichikawa, Chiba, Japan, with a major in Visual and Communication Arts, Taku Suda. And Taku was selected as the outstanding student in Visual Communication Arts. From Santa Barbara, California, USA, with a major in International Relations, Siri Sumparan Khalsa. Congratulations to all the graduates.
I need a prop for this next part. This is the moment that you, now as official graduates of Franklin, get to take the tassel and move it from right to left. Now we're going to move to the video screen here, and Professors Bucher and Professor Terzi will now introduce this year's valedictorians. It'll probably take a few seconds to get that going.
One of our two valedictorians for the class of 2021, Ms. Mariam Cissé. Born in Switzerland and having grown up between Neuchâtel and Zurich, Mariam quickly developed a passion for learning languages and for traveling around the world, making friends along the way, not least during her study abroad experience in Bogota, Colombia. But rather than just going places, Mariam makes a difference to wherever she is, and she certainly made a difference during her time at Franklin. Here, I have experienced Mariam as a highly talented and intellectually outstanding student that approaches challenges with a positive can-do attitude. Focus and dedication, the ability to independently overcome obstacles, and to do so while remaining humble and uplifting others, concisely describes how students, staff, and faculty have come to know Mariam. Her willingness to not only critically engage the world around her, but to also continuously examine our own conceptual limitations makes her a young scholar with immense future potential. Equally important is her ability to work for positive change in a hands-on way. I feel these aspects will reflect in both her senior project for her Communications and Media Studies major and her senior thesis, which she wrote as an International Relations major. Her communications project focused on internal and external communication processes in very small businesses, and was based on an internship experience in her hometown. Her IR thesis successfully conducted an ideographic analysis of anti-political correctness discourses during the 2016 presidential campaign. This thesis is hands down one of the best pieces of scholarship I've ever seen at the undergraduate level anywhere. And I think this can be said of her overall academic performance as well. I could go through a long list of contributions Mariam has made during her time at Franklin, but I would rather like to tell you more about what Mariam is doing today. Mariam is currently located in Dakar, where she works with a producer of a podcast named Afrotopics. They have recently created an association called Génération Afrotopia, and they are at the moment raising funds to create their own studio. Their ongoing goal is to collect living memories and to broadcast emancipatory knowledge to rethink and build tomorrow's future. At the moment, Mariam is beginning to more closely study the practices, discourses, and politics of environmental questions from the perspective of the Global South, and to develop answers which elude us within the confined frameworks of Western societal models. This is without a question an important contribution to dealing with a challenge that impacts all of our lives. I look forward to seeing Mariam's work unfold, and I truly believe that the way Mariam engages the world is exemplary and exactly what Franklin is about. To my mind, Mariam is about knowledge that makes a difference, kindness that uplifts, and dedication that inspires through example. Please welcome with me Ms. Mariam Cissé.
Good afternoon and congratulations to the graduating class of 2021. It gives me great pleasure to present this year's valedictorian speaker, Sanpratap Boal. I first met Santa, as is best known, in my macroeconomics freshman class. He seemed perfectly comfortable since day one, and he quickly proved himself as a hardworking student, yes, and yet more than that. An expression that my colleagues and I often shared to describe him is Santa is always on top of things. In that first course in economics, he scored a rare and rather exceptional 104 points out of 100. And excellence of this kind in that freshman course is consistently an indicator of future academic success. Santa had decided to apply to Franklin in the aftermath of a major US political event in November 2016, when he felt, confused. And he considered that that was the right time to explore what he had long in mind: to get as far as possible from home, 9 time zones east, to experience diversity, exploring the world, stepping out of his comfort zone. And diversity he found at Franklin, where he has been an active member of the community, admissions ambassador since his sophomore year, vice president of the Middle Eastern Club, president of the Student Government Association, in which role he effectively worked to further improve communication with the Board of Trustees. In all these functions, Santa proved to be honest, generous, unpretentious, thoughtful, kind, often tutoring students informally in economics as well as in business. Always quietly and resolutely determined to accomplish the goals he had set for himself. Always on top of things. Starting next fall, Santa will study as an international lawyer, after being admitted to the University of Washington School of Law Juris Doctor program. And I can already envision Santa as the lawyer, negotiator between Big Pharma and the White House, or between the UK and the EU Commission. The main focus of his academic work was the major in political economy, where he says he found the perfect mix of different teaching styles and different expertise, my colleagues and I feel very pleased and proud to have served him well. It gives me immense pleasure to present to you a truly exceptional graduate. This year's valedictorian, a double major in international economics and political economy, international banking and finance, Sanpratap Boal.
Good afternoon. I know this will sound ironic since this is a video recording filmed between Lugano and Dakar, but dear class of 2021, here we are. This is our graduation ceremony, the moment we've both anticipated and dreaded for the past 4 years. Before anything, we wanted to thank the many people involved in making these years the experience they were. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you to the Franklin staff, the faculty, the administration, trustees, and our families and friends. Santa and I are both honored to be your speakers today, honored to be the chosen representatives of our class, and honored to get a chance to laud ourselves for the next 5 minutes or so. We all know that Franklin is not a place where one can find themselves by coincidence or by default. It is a peculiar place where we chose to spend integral and foundational years of our lives.
Almost 4 years ago, most of us arrived at Franklin for the first time. Some of us were exhausted from traveling, some of us were excited, and all of us were probably asking ourselves if this was a good idea. During our first few weeks in Lugano, I remember going to bed every night and thinking, this is my life now, and these are my friends now. We were all very different people back then, yet somehow collectively decided to make this our life. During that first week of orientation, our class had already begun to knit ourselves together into the community that we're all proud to be a part of today. Now, of course, not everyone is here with us today, and we've all had to say some painful goodbyes along the way. But in the midst of farewells and challenges, every semester we met new people, explored new cities, and on Tuesday nights went back again and again to the pub. We have maintained the energy and excitement we felt freshman year, and these experiences really summarize two important sides to who we have become. First, we learn, we adapt, and we fall down, we turn to our friends. Each of us here today can tell stories about the friends we have fallen in love with at Franklin. We're all pursuing that which enthralls us, and I'm so grateful that we are able to collectively embark on that journey. But more importantly, my fellow travelers, we are a family. Regardless if we agree or disagree, laugh or cry, we are together, and we always celebrate together.
While we all intended to enroll in university, little did we know that we had also signed up for a full-time school of life whose learning curve is sometimes as steep as the walk up San Salvatore. Franklin's immersive learning environment allowed and forced us to learn from our professors, but also from the context in which we found ourselves, high recycling, from the many places we traveled to, and most importantly, from each other. Living with people from various continents, juggling between cultures and languages, gave us some perspective on ourselves and the world, and we should all take a second to think about the wonderful growth, maturity, and evolution it induced for all of us. We have learned to both stimulate and tame our curiosities by asking the right questions and looking for their answers in the right places, one of which, surprisingly, was a bunker. I, just like Santa, was intimidated by the unknown when I got here. Yet, my years at Franklin taught me to reconceptualize my limitations as horizons which can never be reached, but rather only expanded. The peculiarity of our global home has made the world profoundly familiar and simultaneously bolstered the fascination it holds for us. The learning process was challenging and comfortable, and sometimes even a bit discouraging. But here we are. Together we have weathered through the storms of classes, finals, crazy travels, papers, due dates, and somehow I had a lot of fun doing it. And look at us now. It's almost as if being here for so long has turned us into Swiss knives, readily panning out skills such as intercultural social competency, critical thinking and academic rigor, several languages, and intense, indefatigable resilience.
At the start of the speech, I mentioned how many of us questioned if coming to Franklin was the best idea. The past year, I've heard so many people questioning their majors, their classes, and asking if they're actually prepared to go into the world. It's been extremely challenging, and especially with everything going on, I don't think any of us really know what's going to happen in the future. But listening to your capstone and theses, I know for a fact that we're more ready now than we're ever going to be. We spent the last 4 years studying, developing new skills, and gaining unique experiences. We started dozens of clubs, served in every leadership role possible, and in the midst of a pandemic, raised the largest senior gift to date at 27,000 francs, which is incredible, and I salute all of you for that. How many times have we tried to explain the dynamics of our student body to our friends and family back home before giving up? I could go on and on about the particularities of our experiences here forever, but that's not important right now. We've made our impact here, and it's time to go into the world and continue making that impact. Whether you're going to grad school, working, traveling, or honestly don't have a clue what's going to happen in the next few days, weeks, months, or years, know that you carry the greatest strengths of this class with you. Moving forward, we all carry the immutable mark of our experiential education, the capacity to be brave, compassionate, resilient, and incorrigibly hopeful for a kinder and more sustainable future.
We will now let you walk the stage, hopefully proud and inspired. Afterwards, we hope that you take time to thank people, friends, staff, faculty, who made your Franklin years what they've been to you, and who've helped you build a home here. Make sure that you embark gracefully, leaving the right impression on others, yourself, and Lugano. We have represented different corners of the world at Franklin and made a difference here for the better.
It's now time to represent the Franklin class of 2021 around the world. So dear class of 2021, how did we get here?
Together.
You are now graduates of Franklin University, and in a few minutes you'll be able to celebrate this rite of passage. You hold in your hand a degree from us that tells the world that you are educated. You have worked hard, and you, your families, all of us should be proud. But what does that degree mean? It means that as an institution, we believe you have the critical skills and the flexibility of mind and character to succeed in what our mission statement reminds us is an increasingly complex and interconnected world. It's also a world that's changing at an ever rapid pace. That is why your education can't be an end in itself. Education must be something that allows you to continue to learn, and through the ability to continue learning, you should be able to succeed at whatever you decide to do. Education goes far beyond mastery of any particular subject. It's far more than learning. B.F. Skinner, the famous and sometimes controversial behaviorist, once wrote that education is what remains when what you have learned is forgotten. To be educated means that you understand that there is still a great more to learn, that one of the joys of life is that we will go on learning to the end of our days. Education is broad. Education is inclusive. Education is open. With education comes responsibility. Education must include awareness that goes beyond the individual. It must include the understanding that along with privilege comes responsibility. It must acknowledge that your education is not just for you, that it can be something much greater that should be of service to others as well. I believe that we have prepared you well. You have joined the ranks of an educated elite. I hope that as a graduate of Franklin, you will become the responsible, compassionate, and collaborative leaders that we talk about in our mission. We have placed our hopes and our energies in you, in the faith that you will accept this challenge and that through it you will prosper. Will the graduates please stand? This is the last time I can tell you what to do here. But ladies and gentlemen, colleagues and friends, I present to you Franklin University, Switzerland's graduating class of 2021. Please join me in congratulating them.